info with LES. And if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
This is Adam Carriker on the ticket.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome into Adam Carriker on the ticket. As you can tell, I'm not Adam. It is Adam's 40th birthday, so he is celebrating today, taking the day off. So happy birthday to Adam Carriker, one of Nebraska's best defensive linemen of all time, some of the biggest arms in the NFL, and obviously a great addition here to the ticket. We've enjoyed him and the guests that he brings on. But for today, it is myself, Bach, and Rico to my left. Right on the computer screen, who will be taking over today. Rico, how's it going?
Hello. I'm doing great, man. Just hanging out.
Yeah,
living our best life.
That's
welcome
right.
Welcome back to the dead ticket water cooler.
That's right. R.I.P. to the ticket water cooler.
Rip, but it's back, baby. What's up? One time for my one times. How y'all doing?
Yes, I don't know what that last one means, but that's fair. And I think our Knicks and Celtics are probably on a collision course for the Eastern Conference Finals.
I need the Celtics to lose, because if the Celtics lose, the Knicks make the NBA Finals.
Yes.
If the Celtics win, the Knicks do not make the NBA Finals. They're not going to beat the Celtics.
Are you not too worried about the Pacers? What do you think?
No, I ain't worried about no damn Pacers. Six. Knicks and six, baby.
Yeah. Well,
Knicks and six,
that's a competitive series.
Knicks and six, baby. I ain't worried.
Yeah.
I ain't worried about nothing.
What do you think?
It's
The
all good.
Celtics sweep?
Who are they playing again?
The Celtics. Well, I was hoping for the Magic, but they got
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland. 5 again.
I feel bad for Donovan Mitchell because he's just a one-man show. He doesn't really have enough help there. Yeah.
New York wanted you.
Yeah, there you go.
I know that. Did you see like the amount of things that Cleveland gave up for Donovan Mitchell? Mm-hmm. I always forget. They gave up like 4 players and like 7 draft picks just for Donovan Mitchell.
It's worked out.
Like not even like a secondary player that they could like cut or trade later.
Yeah,
like just Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, you got the back-to-back second round? Not even back-to-back because they didn't win last year. You get second round appearance in the playoffs. Congratulations, good for you.
Well, he had combined 89 points in Game 6 and Game 7 over the weekend. So.
Yeah, kind of tough. Kind of tough.
That only trails Allen Iverson's 90 in 2001 for second most points in Game 6 and Game 7 NBA history. So when I say it's a one-man show there, think Allen Iverson in the 60s.
Allen Iverson, a one-man show. Yes. That was a one-man show.
That was definitely a one-man show.
He ain't no Jalen Brunson, but he doing all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to ask you this. Jalen Brunson, a smaller player, you worried about his durability over the years?
No, he's a bowling ball.
Cheered for an Isaiah Thomas at Boston, and career.
Yeah, but Isaiah was tiny.
Yeah, he was tiny.
Like first off, Isaiah was much shorter.
Yes.
Well, not much shorter, but he was shorter. Shorter
still is.
than Jalen Brunson. And not as muscular.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson's a bowling ball. He's like 6 foot, and he's got some muscle to him. He's good. He'll be fine.
He just does a lot of his work driving to the rim, too.
He does. Draws a decent amount of fouls.
Yeah.
Be all right.
Yeah.
He'll be good.
He'll be all right. Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Sign him to a huge contract.
Hey. Tibbs has never hurt a point guard. He's fine.
We do have a delivery. I don't know if somebody can go grab
Austin's there.
Oh, there we go. But this is not the NBA hour. That's probably more NBA that's been talked here for a while. It could be. We could go on for the NBA, but I did want to ask this, pose this question out there because I just talked to Terrell about it. But Joel Klatt, of course, with Fox, former Colorado quarterback, but has overcome that, I think, even in Nebraska fans' heart, to just be one of the best voices in college football.
Mhm.
I'll be a little disappointed. I don't think he's going to be on the new college football game. They're going to have different broadcasters for how big the game is. But yeah, I don't think they're signed both Fox and ESPN broadcasters. But in any case, one of the voices of college football, and certainly for Fox's side, has Nebraska in his post-spring top 25 at number 22. How do you feel about it, Rico? I mean, do you like? I asked Terrell the same thing. Do you think Nebraska has to earn it first?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Joel. We're not. We do this. We do this seemingly every year with Nebraska football, and I get it. Everybody wants to be excited. Everybody wants to drink the Kool-Aid. Give me like 2 more months, and I'll probably be there with you.
Yeah.
But right now, Nebraska, although they had a top 20 defense, and look, Joel Klatt mentions it in his little rant that he was doing on his podcast. Like, they had a top 20 defense. You could probably say that about a lot of teams in the Big Ten West with top 20 defenses because the offenses were so bad. But they had a top 20 defense. They're returning a decent amount of the pieces. Still, the secondary and the linebacker core kind of decimated with departures and such. But if your defense can be close to what it was last year and your offense is slightly better than it was last year, then yeah, sure, I guess you could argue that Nebraska will win more than 5 games this year, right? But to be a top 25 team from a 5-win team that, although a lot of the losses came with very few points, it's still the jump from where they were to top 25 is still going to be large.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people forget this. Nebraska's not the only team that was trying to and possibly improved from last season. And yes, there are teams that were really good that might take a step or two back. But the amount of teams that have tried to and have potentially gotten better are right there with there are teams right there with Nebraska. So I just don't want to say that they're a top 25 team yet, because you're potentially starting a true freshman at quarterback, regardless of how talented he is. That's a true freshman who still hasn't seen the live speed and play of college football. You can say what you want about the spring game. Not the same.
Knew he wasn't going to get tackled.
Not the same. So that first game will be a great litmus test. And then second game, you're going up against a Colorado team that, regardless of how you feel about Colorado, that's still a Power 5 football team with a lot of talent. I don't know how the talent's going to work well together, but a lot of talent offensively and defensively. So that I feel like that'll be a good litmus test for Dylan, at least, and for the team. Just those first 2 games getting through, and Joel Klatt mentions it in his talk that's probably going to be their hardest test before the Ohio State game of their first 7 games. I don't agree with that, because you'll have, I think, a Rutgers and an Indiana sprinkled in there, and I think Rutgers is going to be tougher, at least defensively, against Dylan than Colorado will be. But it's way too early to go top 25 for this Nebraska team. Preseason top 25. However you think they're going to finish, 8, 9, whatever you think. Way too early for that.
And I love Joel Klatt. You mentioned this during the break. He does do this every year.
Every single year, because he knows.
It's good clicks.
Look, the Nebraska fan base knows what they're doing, and they know what these national media talking heads and podcasters and people are trying to do. And even if they do truly believe that Nebraska is going to be better than they were last season, regardless of whatever season you're talking about, they're going to embellish a little bit, because they know if they talk well about Nebraska, or if you talk bad about Nebraska, you're going to get a lot of clicks. You're going to get a lot of mentions, a lot of retweets, a lot of favorites, a lot of quote tweets, a lot of shares on Facebook and Instagram and all of that. And your message is going to be spread far and wide. Your podcast might get some more listens because you're talking about Nebraska, and Nebraska football is like a cult.
Yeah.
I'm not bad way. All right. Don't come for me.
A good cult.
But it's a cult.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah. Well, that's just part of fandom. But it is, I think it is the first time that at least I can start to buy this sort of stuff. Like probably dating back to Scott Frost second season at Nebraska. I know this is Matt Rule's second season at Nebraska. There you could see it. Okay. Hopefully things go better.
Oh no.
Yeah. But that, I mean, you could see Adrian Martinez. You saw progress at the end of the year. They were competing with Ohio State and Iowa, who was good that year. And so you could like actually see it. Nebraska did. That's the last time they were ranked, in fact, was early second season of Scott Frost.
Careful now.
Where they were ranked like I think something like 22nd.
Yeah.
So maybe some number
Just
there.
barely in the top 25.
Yeah, but and ended up losing to Colorado. So a lot of things.
Oh, no.
There's almost too much that we should maybe stop talking right now.
What is happening?
But I think that to be fair, like I like to consider myself one that doesn't necessarily get as caught up in the Kool-Aid. I've been told that I'm a hater before because of that in previous seasons, and
same.
It's turned out that Nebraska still hasn't gone bowling. This is a thing that I actually believe will. I think I buy into Matt Rule. I believe it, and again, I could be wrong. I thought the same thing going into Scott Frost's second season, but I do think that this team's going to take a big jump. Another question I posed to Terrell was we love to talk about Matt Rule and his turnaround, but then sometimes we don't talk about how that happened. Year two for Matt Rule, and again, year ones were worse for Matt Rule at Temple and Baylor than year two, than year one at Nebraska. But year two for his plan, for what he's been doing, has resulted in a 500 record at Temple and a 7-6 record at Baylor. Would that be good enough for you? Is it finally getting to that bowl game? I know people want to raise the bar, and when you have these top 25 talks, obviously that's raising the bar. I guess the difference there would be you're going from 5-7 and one play here, one play there, away from already making that bowl game. So how much of an improvement would that be? Would a 7-6 season be a step in the right direction for Nebraska?
Obviously it'd be a step in the right. Like you haven't been over 6 wins in how long has it been now?
2016.
Right?
Yeah.
That's too long.
That's
too many years.
Yeah.
Too many years. You haven't been over 6 wins since 2016. Like it needs to happen. I don't care how many. It could be right at 6 and you make a bowl game. It's a step in the right direction. Would you like more? Yes, of course you would. Of course you would. But if you can see the progress going with it, like you saw the progress last season with 5 wins, you get to 7 wins. We'll just put it at that. You get to 7 wins this season. You make a bowl game. You win that. You get to 8 wins, whatever. I don't want to hear people complain. I don't want to hear it because it's a step in the right direction. It's incremental progress. You're not going to jump You're rarely going to jump from 5 to 10 wins in a season because, especially now in today's college football landscape, because of the transfer portal, because of NIL and everything. Like you. Regardless of how good your team was last year, and I know that this team has held together pretty well, and you're going to have to lose some more people. We don't know if it's going to be, important people who played a part last year or some people who you could potentially see having an impact on this year's team, but you're going to lose some people, and usually that's what happens with teams is you'll have some really talented players move on to a better opportunity or move on to the NFL if they're older guys, and you'll have some guys who have potential but weren't playing as much and maybe don't see themselves getting into the lineup anytime soon, leaving as well. So I don't want to hear, it's going to happen regardless and whatever, but if Nebraska goes from 5 to 7 wins, is it enough improvement? I don't know. I can't definitively say yes or no, but I do believe that amount of improvement should be good enough for some people, should be good enough for a decent amount of the fan base, because it's, again, showing steps in the right direction, going from 5 to 7 and seeing the incremental progress that Rule has made in his other stops. Year 3 is usually the year when these things really happen. Sure, he didn't want to admit that it was a rebuild or year 1 or whatever in the year prior, but it was. Yeah. It was. You had to do a lot of things. You had to make some changes. And you had to make a lot of changes during the season as well, because the quarterback you brought in didn't work. And then you were working with a quarterback that didn't quite fit the system and some pieces that didn't quite fit around him. But you made things work and you got the 5 wins. So getting to 7, not a ton of improvement, but I think it should be enough.
Yeah, it was interesting too. I mean, you got to remember Nebraska last year was sitting at 5-3 before dropping their final 4 games, and so I mean they were that close to already kind of climbing up that mountain and getting, and really jump starting the program and the trajectory of it. So that's why I can kind of see maybe an argument or a bounce back at, I don't really want to. I mean, nobody goes into the season going, I want to be 7-6.
Yeah, no.
And that's not going to be their goal. But I think if you take a step back, I think that would be solid. And that also
would it hurt more to get all 7 right away?
That's the thing.
If you go 7-0 and then lose your last 6 games?
Well, I think
5 games.
At least 6? That point you would be 5.
5.
Because you play 12.
Yeah, you're right.
So you get
numbers are hard.
That's right. But I think that would be at least you'd be a huge talking point. Momentum would be on your side. Obviously you would not have a whole lot of momentum going into the offseason, but at least for a while, you'd probably jump up. If they do start 7, I got to figure that there's too many teams aren't going to do that. You remember how college football rankings work. Undefeated teams generally rank above the others. They'd be probably a top 15 team. So
what was Mike Riley was top 10, number 9 when they started 6-0.
Yeah.
And then
lost
the wheels
Wisconsin,
fell off.
62-3 lost to Ohio State.
the wheels fell off.
And that was,
you got up to the top 10.
And that was the last good year for Nebraska. That's the last year they made a bowl game. As crazy as how far back does 62-3 with Tommy Armstrong feel getting injured in that game? But
you just said Tommy Armstrong. So
that's how far back it has been since Nebraska got to a bowl game. And it was like the bowl game. If you remember, like Nate Gary was out there playing Tennessee, but it wasn't. Tommy was out, so it was just kind of like, they're in a bowl game. If we only knew at that time that was the last bowl game we'd experienced for quite some time.
I wonder if more players would have played.
Maybe we would appreciate it a little bit more.
That bowl game was tough.
But I do kind of find that question interesting, because I also think that if you're going to say 7-6 would be a good year, here's the thing. I just think there's too many people that say, the schedule's easy. They should start 7-0.
I don't like schedule talk.
Based on Nebraska hasn't made a bowl game since Tommy Armstrong. I don't think we should be looking at anybody and saying, the schedule's easy. They should be 7-0.
I hate when people say, "Oh, the schedule is easy. You should do this." Again, other teams are trying to improve as well.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you look at you look at UTEP and UNI, and you're just like, oh, automatic wins. It's Nebraska. You should beat them.
Yeah.
But careful now. Who did Scott Frost lose to in his last game? And then he got fired. Georgia Southern, right? Yeah. That's oh, you should beat them. Didn't happen. Got fired. You have to respect everybody that comes in. You have to respect everybody that you're going to face. I do agree. You should beat UTEP and UNI, but Colorado, regardless of how their season has gone and all of the controversy surrounding them, like I said, still talented. Don't know how they're going to play together, but an extremely talented team at least. And then, Brett Bielema usually just kicks your butt every single year.
Yeah.
Illinois is going to be better than they were last year, you think. Purdue, same way. Rutgers is tough defensively.
I think Caliac-Manis has beaten you twice.
Yeah, you should beat Indiana. But yeah, that's what? 4 games?
Not according
that you got to be careful.
He's
I'm just saying.
After Ohio State and Michigan.
You got to be careful now.
Yeah. All right.
Shout out to Steve Simple.
Let's take a quick break. Once again, it's Adam Carriker's 40th birthday. So somebody pointed off the text line, his favorite Carrikers are Bach and Rico Carriker. I don't know if we're the favorites, but we're definitely not the best Carrikers, but we're Carrikers today, and we'll be back with more Adam Carriker on the ticket coming up next.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppel Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Coppel. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at coppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
You're listening to Adam Carriker on The Ticket on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You can actually, once again, here on 93.7 The Ticket, we do have Adam Carriker on The Ticket, but Adam is not here today because he has a birthday, a 40th birthday. So congratulations to Adam. 40 is it's the new 30, right? I think that's what people say.
So what is 30?
It's the new 25.
I don't feel 25.
I think 30 is,
30 is just 30.
30 is the age where you start feeling 30. So I don't think 30 can be a new thing, is because it's kind of an experience in of itself.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
That's right. Speaking of that, well, there's no, this has no transition whatsoever, but
not at all.
But I did want to get to the text line because there were a few thoughts. We were talking about Joel Klatt and his prediction for Nebraska has him at number 22 in his post-spring top 25. We'll see if that makes it to the pre-fall top 25, which you would think that it would. I don't know what's going on, what's going to be a difference in there, but just a little bit of roasting for us. But Wet Blanket says, just watch the Klatt video. College football championship game incoming. Well,
no,
it does get me excited there.
Stop. Don't.
That wasn't Wet Blanket. Wet Blanket actually
that was
said,
Downtown Scott.
That was Downtown Scott. Wet Blanket said, just tune in and heard talk of 8 and 10 wins must be May on the ticket.
Blame Joel Klatt. It's all Joel Klatt's fault. He's the one that said it. He said, I could see Nebraska 8-9 win. Don't Joel. Don't do that. You're a Colorado guy.
Yeah,
don't compliment Nebraska.
Supposed to hate Nebraska.
How dare you? He has a strange affinity for Nebraska.
He does, and I appreciate it. He has a respect for Nebraska, I think, which is fair.
We don't need your respect.
I think we appreciate his respect. Again, he is a powerful voice in college football.
Well, tell him to be right.
Well, I hope he is right this time.
Be right, all right? That's it. That's all I ask. Just be right.
If Nebraska does climb the ranks and get to the top 25 this year, it will be without Demetrius Bell. As Matt Rules spoke on Saturday to Husker Online, said that injury will keep him out for the season. Blyhill's injury less severe, so he should be on track to be back in the fall. That doesn't necessarily mean the beginning of fall, so we'll kind of see there. But how big of a loss do you think Demetrius Bell is? He was getting some good reports coming out of camp. They've got some, small, shifty guys like, his body style, his frame to fill his spot. But I do think it is a little bit of a loss because he was getting good reviews coming out of camp and looked pretty good in the spring game for the short amount of time he had.
Yeah, the little bit of time that we were able to actually see him, he looked like he was going to produce a little bit for Nebraska. But I think the depth of the wide receiver room, regardless of the unknown skill, unknown talent for some of those guys, which I feel like Demetrius Bell was one of those guys where you heard a lot coming out of camp, but you weren't exactly sure because you haven't seen him play before for Nebraska or play all that much for Nebraska, where it was still unknown. So I think the depth and the potential talent that they have in that wide receiver room will be able to cover up for the loss of Demetrius Bell, although you don't know what he would have been able to offer you or if anybody is actually able to simulate what he would have been able to give you. But I believe that with the amount of bodies that they have in there and the healthy return of Malachi, that they'll be able to withstand the loss of Demetrius.
The wide receiver room is it's
weird.
It's weird, right? It doesn't. There's a lot of different bodies in there, but you feel very comfortable with it, especially for me, at least coming out of the spring game, and just as with Dylan Raiola back there, a guy that can sling it around.
I was going to say, does the wide receiver room interest you more because you have a quarterback that will be able to get them the ball?
Oh, absolutely. I think your excitement.
No disrespect to Heinrich.
Yeah, your excitement for the wide receiver room wouldn't be quite the same if it was. Pretty much, again, no disrespect to a lot of quarterbacks over the years. It's just, Dylan's a passing quarterback. So, Nebraska hasn't had that too much. Maybe you would be excited preseason with Tanner Lee, but not once you got to the season.
Hey, shorts and a T-shirt, that man can sling it.
That's right. But it is tough to tell. Like, if I ask you who's going to be the leading receiver for this team, you can have an answer, but you're not. Like, I don't think you're necessarily right. A lot of people think Isaiah Nair, Jamal Banks would probably be some of your top names out there.
Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, Jalen Lloyd, Malachi Coleman, Jaden Doss.
Yeah.
Like
Ja'Cory Barney looked good.
You got a ton of bodies in there.
Yeah.
A ton of bodies. Alex Bullock. Hey, sure hands.
Yeah.
One of what they say last year that he ran the best routes and he had the best hands in the wide receiver room. So
he's the only one to catch a touchdown pass from Jeff Sims last year.
Hey,
that was a tough thing to do.
That's something. He's the only one.
Yeah.
And then you add to that, if you just go pass catchers, the tight end room, like it's just a ton of weapons to spread the ball between for a quarterback whose skill set you haven't seen a lot from Nebraska quarterbacks in the past leading up to now.
Yeah. Did you? And I don't know if I've talked to you specifically about the spring game. I thought Dylan looked like a seasoned vet out there. When we talk about a freshman starting, again, he just looked like in command. Not, when he was missing, he was barely missing or missing in the right spots.
He was missing in the spots.
The backs couldn't get it.
Yeah, he's missing in the spots that you want him to miss it.
Right.
Like it's not. Oh, that's a miss and a pick. It's a miss and it's incomplete.
Yeah.
Like okay, you take an incompletion over a pick, obviously.
Absolutely. And of course, the one pick was tipped up, so it hit the receiver's hands.
He took blame for that. He said, "I gotta put that in a better spot."
A little bit behind him, but it still did hit him in the hands. So
you touch it, you catch it. Them's the rules.
Yeah. What do you think as far as like me? I'm a traditional run the ball guy, but I understand talent. The talent that you have. I'm more of a coach the talent on your roster than a specific philosophy guy. But I do think there's a chance, and we'll see, because Matt Rule said going into the spring game, we know we can run. We want to see what our passing game looks like. So we didn't, I think that was a bit of a showcase for the passing game more so than anything. If I said 60-40 run, you think that's going to happen, or you think it's more?
I don't know what the running back room is going to look like. I don't know who's going to be starting there. I guess if Dante Dowdell with his body frame, body type, and then you mix in, Ramir and just all the other running backs in the backfield there, 60-40 seems like it seems possible.
Yeah.
But if Raiola is, everything he's cracked up to be, potentially closer to 50-50, because if you have somebody with that type of skill set, with the types of wide receivers, again, if they progress and are everything that they're being talked about and everything that we hope they are, you're gonna want to keep them involved, and you're gonna want to keep using the weapons that you have. So if it turns out to be a 50-50 split, would you be that upset?
I wouldn't be. I mean, I think there's a chance that this is kind of a heavy passing attack. Again, the numbers might kind of work out for you a little bit better. If you have a blowout, you're going to run the ball a little bit more toward the end. And so I think a lot of teams are closer to the 60-40 because of that sort of thing than what their game plan is. And I think you could see something like that. But I do expect there to be more passing. And like you, I just don't know what the ground game is going to bring to you. There could be certain games where they're running over people, and you stick to it. I think overall, as a philosophy, I still do think that you're going to need a strong ground game to win in the Big Ten. I think power football is the way to go, and I think they're going to build that around this passing game that they have with Dylan Raiola. But if your passing game is your strength, and it might be this year, then I think you lean a little bit more into it.
I mean, that's something that they've mentioned before, is wanting to have a strong running game and wanting to run the ball more than they do pass it, and kind of being that hard-nosed, tough, gritty football team. So you could see them running the ball more. And if you're able to run the ball at a successful clip for a decent amount of yards per carry, that takes a ton of pressure off of your freshman quarterback. Again, if he's the starter, when he's the starter, however you want to put it, off of your freshman quarterback's shoulders, where he knows when he makes throws, he's just going to have to make potentially the safer throws, but those throws should be more wide open, not wide open, but more open, because of a successful running game and because of the ability to bring more bodies down into the box and kind of allow your wide receivers, the tight ends, to go one-on-one, or, just deal with one high safety as opposed to the two, and see potentially less zone, more man-to-man, and be able to, depending on how advanced his eyes are and his reads are, being able to make those throws at a higher clip. The ability to run the ball for Nebraska is just going to open up things, which everybody knows that is just going to open up things a lot more for Dylan Raiola. So you get that 60-40 split if you're running back, if you can find that potentially workhorse running back, or if you go running back by committee again, which I know you is that you're fine with running back by committee.
I think if
you're okay with it. It's Sipple doesn't like running back by committee. He wants the workhorse. He wants the big horse. If you can find that guy, or if you can go running back by committee and still have a lot of success, I wouldn't mind the 60-40, although you know me, I want to see points on points on points. Yeah. I want Dylan just chucking it down the field and having Jalen Lloyd run under it. That's all I want.
Well, and I have said this before. I think Jalen Lloyd is due for a blowout year, and maybe the biggest benefactor of Dylan Lloyd or Dylan Raiola jumping on campus.
Dylan Lloyd.
It's
going to happen.
The Dylan Lloyd connection. That's right. We're going to take a quick break. I did want to ask you real quick. Did you see how close the finishes were both in NASCAR and horse racing?
0.001 in NASCAR, and by the flare of a nostril.
Yes.
At the Kentucky Derby.
Mystic Dan.
Getting
the win. Have you ever lost a race or won a race by that close?
Yes.
You remember?
Well, not that close, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I lost a race by 0.03 seconds once.
Did you practice your reach out at the end or anything after that?
No. I just said I need to be very I don't want it to be that close again.
It's gotta be tough.
I don't want close races. I just want to win.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go to a photo finish. Get on my face.
Is it better to lose in a blowout or lose close? It's kind of one of those situations.
Yeah. No, it's tough either way.
Not good to lose.
Just don't lose. Yeah, that's it. Just don't lose.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll talk a little bit about the Lincoln and Omaha connection that Matt Rule wants to kind of clean up a little bit in Husker Nation. Also, Harper Murray in some troubles over the weekend. We'll do that coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Are you ready to take your seeding season to the next level? Now's your chance with Landmark Implement's early order program. Don't miss out on the best deals of the season on new John Deere air seeders and drills, including the N500C Central Commodity System. Experience the ease of operation with the new N500C's intuitive design, simplifying your seeding process and saving you valuable time in the field. Lock in the largest cash discount, snag the best financing rate, and ensure availability on a new drill. Contact your local Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
The Nebraska Ambulatory Surgical Center is Lincoln's newest outpatient surgery center, started by Dr. Daniel Tomez and Dr. Benjamin Bixenman. The highly skilled staff strives to make your outpatient surgery experience unlike any other with a new, clean facility and state-of-the-art equipment. They specialize in minimally invasive spine procedures, carpal tunnel release, pain management including steroid injections, and much more. Schedule your appointment with the region's top neurosurgeons at 402-904-4729 at the Nebraska Ambulatory Surgical Center in Lincoln on South 27th Street.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
You're listening to Adam Carriker on The Ticket on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on Adam Carriker on The Ticket. I'm Jake Bachman. He's Enrique Alvarez-Clary, and we're pretending to be characters today because Adam Carriker has his 40th birthday, is celebrating that today. So he is missing this show, but you can hear more from him throughout the remainder of the week. Just a few minutes before we get ready for happy hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, I did want to mention a few things from over the weekend to Rico and get his thoughts about it. Matt Rule is kind of got a new goal, which is to try to get the Lincoln-Omaha divide less dividey. That's not a word, but in any case, he wants to ensure that Nebraska Husker Nation is all in one. Do you think there is a big divide between Lincoln and Omaha, Rico, or is it just like I don't know? Like high school, I think there should be a rivalry. The Creighton thing, again, should be a rivalry. But as far as like Husker Nation is concerned, do you think there's a divide?
Like Husker fans in Lincoln and Husker fans in Omaha, or like?
Yeah,
like between like, because I know that there is or was one between the Omaha Metro high schoolers, high school athletes, specifically football, and the University of Nebraska, because there was a lack of, or what seemed like a lack of want to in terms of going into Omaha and offering scholarships. A lot of it was offering walk-on positions, kind of one of those like, you live in Nebraska, you should want to go here. We are not going to use a scholarship on you, though, because you can, pay your own way or whatever, or we see somebody out of state as better than you. I know that kind of created a divide between the Omaha high schools and the university. But in terms of like fans, I don't know about that, but I do know that there is like a superiority feeling between like the people who live in each city, between like people in Omaha who are like, we are the best city in Nebraska, and why would we go to Lincoln aside from going to a football game? Like, I know that there's that goes around, and people are like, Lincoln is so much better than Omaha, and Omaha is so much better than Lincoln, and what have you. So, I don't know, but I feel like that's just a thing that happens in states with cities. Like, I just think that with states with cities, just like that happens between cities in states. Like, I'm sure that if you go to Iowa, that like Iowa City and Des Moines, like people in Des Moines think that Des Moines is better than Iowa City. Or if you go to Texas, I'm for sure that happens to people in Houston are like, we're so much better than Dallas. And Dallas is like, we're the best city. And like, it happens. It happens. There should be, I feel like he's trying to close the gap in terms of the high schools and the athletes and the university and like the city. Well, not even the city, just the University of Nebraska, Lincoln. So I feel like that's really his goal in the Omaha Lincoln divide, quote unquote.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think that, there has been a bit of a problem there. We've seen some Omaha recruits, and maybe it's, you're not in the city where the university is. Obviously, maybe you don't grow up or catch the fanfare quite as much. I think part of this can be helped by winning quite a bit. You talk about, you talk to a group of kids and say, well, what's your favorite team? And if they don't say the Huskers, there's something wrong with that. Well, these high school kids, as long as they've been watching football, haven't seen Nebraska win. So naturally, it's like I'm sorry, it's like Husker basketball though. It's like there's a lot of Duke and Kansas fans growing up in Lincoln, Nebraska, because they want to watch relevant basketball. They watch relevant college basketball, and again, apologies to Nebraska basketball. They're trying to fix that. They're getting better and have their best season in 10 years. But
put that right there, your best season in 10 years.
Yeah, but again, that's part of the problem is just once in a while isn't going to be good enough, and so. I think that you've probably seen a little bit more of that over these last 10 years. It's been the most challenging 10 years for Nebraska football, since the 50s. So naturally, I think you're going to have some of that bleed over to the kids. I do think, though, in basketball, too, I think that there's more of a divide or a feeling of not a connectiveness. And again, I don't think it's Lincoln in Omaha. I think it's the university in Omaha when we're just seeing Omaha kids or guys that played in Omaha don't pick Nebraska initially and don't pick them here in the transfer portal era the second time around either. And so I think that's kind of the bigger disconnect. Football, you might have it here and there, but I don't think it's been something that's really held Nebraska back. But it is certainly something that is being embraced more is the talent in state. Like you said, whether it's walk-on or if you're going to give a shot to somebody, give it to somebody that's on your walk-on scholarship limit that's within the state of Nebraska. So I think that's a good goal and good publicity, I think, for Matt Rule to go out to Omaha and try to get especially the youth camps going and get more Nebraska fans out that way. The last story that I wanted to talk about real quickly before we get out of here is Harper Murray getting in trouble once again over the weekend, accused of shoplifting $70 worth of jewelry from Shields. This less than a month after getting a DUI, considering she's only 19. Kids be seeing as a 19-year-old kind of making some 19-year-old mistakes. Other people would say it's strike two, and she probably should have learned from strike one. What are your kind of thoughts on the Harper Murray situation, which everybody has an opinion on Twitter?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on in the young lady's life, but I hope that whatever it is gets figured out and that she can turn it all around. As John Cook said after the spring match, it's above him, and he's just hoping that she, finishes her finals and gets good grades and all that, and just finishes the semester strong. That's really all he can do. She was suspended from the spring match. She didn't even go travel down with the team to Kearney. So I don't know what's going on with her for the DUI or why she's shoplifting. According to the reports, she stole $70 worth of rings, but bought like $350 or something like that worth of products. So it's like when you're already buying $300+ like, why not just throw the other $70 on there as opposed to stealing it? But I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just like the adrenaline of like stealing something. So whatever it is, I hope it gets figured out and that she learns from it. Probably another suspension might be on the way, or some type of punishment from Cook in the volleyball program or in the athletic department, something else on the way. But I don't know, man. It's weird. It's just a weird situation, especially when you think of, somebody as popular as she is, as, when you think of, and I know that it's not all about money, but you think of like NIL and endorsements, and like you bought $300+ worth of things. Like you have money to buy these rings. Why are you, putting them in your pocket?
I mean, you could probably work a deal out with Shields. If
Yeah.
It wasn't, for the.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And again, it's like she was accused. So, and there was like a police report, but I don't know if anything's been made of that yet. I don't know if she's been, arrested, or if they've done anything more with that. So, but it all like came from like a Facebook post from somebody who posted the pictures about it.
Yeah, so it's a very, very interesting situation altogether. And again, I think, I believe in second chances. You could say this is a third chance. I do think 3 strikes you're out usually is kind of the deal there. So, hopefully, again, like you said, whether it's the people she's around or just kind of making mistakes that, again, a lot of young people do, but she has to realize. And, I think that there's, when we talk about NIL, and some folks, I remember just years back saying, well, I used to eat ramen, and so they should have to go through that too in college years. They don't have to get all this money.
I hate that thought.
And
process.
It's like, yeah, well, but the problem there is you have to think, but she's special. You have to realize she and other athletes are special. You were not. And that's not to say you're not special in other areas of your life, but you just have to acknowledge that. But it kind of works in the reverse here too, where it's like Harper needs to realize at this point, whether she wants it or not, you go back to the old Charles Barkley quote. She's a role model. She's a young lady that girls around the state look up to. And also, this is just a very unique opportunity in her life that people generally just are not going to get. And so you got to, again, I kind of, when I first saw it, it was kind of like, well, a 19-year-old kind of acting like a 19-year-old at times. And that's not to say that all 19-year-olds do that sort of thing. I mean, it's just a young person making young person mistakes. But at the same time, again, that might be okay, or just kind of a, like if you think about hearing that at church or like one of your cousins or something, you'd be like, well, that's not really good, but it's, it wouldn't be the end of the world type of thing.
Yeah, if your 19-year-old cousin got busted for shoplifting, you'd be like, God, you're so dumb, dude. Like, what are you doing?
But, when you are special, when you are, that's why there's a big deal. I mean, I'm sure there was plenty of shoplifting things that happened over the weekend. We're talking about one.
Yep.
So, just kind of interesting to see what goes on there. And then the other thing is, again, as far as coaches go, I think that, second chances and continuing to work with a person is probably the best idea. At the same time, if you're John Cook, I've said this before, you said this before, I think they're, elite 8, Final Four bound with or without Harper Murray for the next several years. That's not, she's a third-team All-American. It's a great player. But a scholarship at Nebraska, the way that has that program going, it means a lot in general. I mean, it's just, so if you maybe are a distraction or anything like that, who knows? So it's kind of just up to the Cook and the volleyball program, how they want to.
He said it's out of his hands.
Yeah.
It's the athletic department's problem now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what's made out of. Hopefully, the best for everybody involved. That'll wrap it up for Adam Carriker on the Ticket on 93.7 The Ticket. Happy hour coming up next. Rico still going to be in with Austin.
Austin's joining me today because Nick's in Vegas.
That's right. Partying up in Vegas. All right. We'll be back with Happy Hour coming up next.
Spring